Good morning, everyone. It's Susan Phelps, and today I am in a new build that I came out to check on for my customer. It's at the pre-drywall stage. The inspector that they hired just left, and I always enjoy being with Rich and his team from Home Team because I learn so much. He takes his time, he allows me to ask all the questions I want, and I learn something new every time. Disclaimer here, I am not an engineer, I'm not a contractor, I'm just a very interested realtor who wants to get as much information as I can to share with my customers that are building new homes in Sarasota and Manatee County. So let's go inside and check this one out. As we enter the front door, you can see that the framing has been completed, the electrical has been run, as well as the plumbing. One thing that I found out today that I thought was really interesting is about this particular product here, and it's actually fire stop. I thought it was always for sealing tubes and openings, but what has been explained to me is that it stops fire. Should there be a fire in this room that was crawling up this wall, it would normally reach for any open spaces to travel, and this fire stop is what stops the fire from spreading. This particular builder uses a lot of the metal 2x4s, except for when you have a door opening where a door is going to be hung. There is lumber that's added to that opening. These holes that are put through the metal studs here are protected with a plastic ring so that the wiring that's going through here does not get damaged by the cut aluminum. In this build, the insulation is already in, and the insulation is different for different areas of the home. If you are interested in the R factors, that's always available and will be included in the specs of your build in terms of what the total R factor is in your home that's being built. One thing that is always completed before you do the pre-drywall walkthrough is the plumbing. The plumbing is run, and you can see that this red PVC pipe is for the hot water, and then the white one is for the cold water. And you can see again that that fire stop foam is up where those entryways were for the piping for the PVC as well as for the electric. This is our kitchen. This is the island support. These vary depending on the builder as to how they are built, but they're support for the countertop, and the cabinets are also a support for the countertop. So that is often not more than one 2x4 or 2x6, but at any rate, again, I am not a contractor and I don't know exactly what each builder's standards are. We have the plumbing coming out here for the sink. Oh, this seller's going to be able to look out a window at the trees and plants that she puts up. Now this over here, obviously, because it's marked, that's going to hold the hood, and then there is the exhaust that goes all the way up, and there you see the exit into the plywood. The roof has not been put on, the sheathing has. As well, I wanted to point out the lining, so to speak, that goes all along the edge of the walls. That lining up there looks like a cardboard box piece. That is to stop the blown-in insulation from going outside, because you don't want your insulation outside wicking in any moisture. One thing that's really important to check out when you're doing your pre-drywall walkthrough is where are the lights and the fans going to hang in your home. You may have taken the standard package for lighting, and therefore you're, going to get what has been planned already, but you may have added something. So it's important to make note of those specifications in your plan and make sure that those cans that are going to hold the lights and the fans are in the right place. I asked Rich about this colored plywood here. There's some that is being used here probably for the support for a TV, and then there's some in that piece of plywood over there on the ceiling or on the roof. I thought maybe it was a bug protectant, a termite borate powder that was, or a paint that was added, but it is actually a result of how they prepare the plywood for shipment. This is probably from the top of the stack that got painted when they sealed the edges of that stack of plywood. So it really doesn't mean too much other than that was the top sheet of plywood on that stack. We're in the owner's bathroom, and you can see these plates that have been added to the support 2x4s, and that's to protect the plumbing in case someone made a mistake and came in and put a drywall screw through and punctured the either a box for wiring or the plumbing PVC. That's going to stop that from happening. Now over here we have the beginnings of the shower. I'm used to seeing a blue board for protecting for a waterproof board, and that may be the case behind this insulation, but they've also included a red, probably a sealant paint kind of product that's been added to the edges of the shower and the floor. Not that this is a structural issue or problem. This is just a piece of information I picked up again today. I've seen this in other builds and not really known what this double framing was for. And today I said, oh, Rich, this is to hold the insulation. He said, actually, no, this is where they're going to raise the ceiling and create the tray that goes in this room. So there's my answer. This is where the air compressor for the HVAC is going to live. And here again, it's a different color, but it's still that foam sealant fire stop material that is all the way around the this big piece of ductwork that gets hooked up to the HVAC air handler when it's completed. We're out into the garage, and again we have this thread of fire stop that goes along every gap that is created when they put up the framing against the brick walls. All of this wiring gets strapped down, made stationary all the way through the house. You can see the tie straps that are holding it down, and then it's fed into the electrical box. This build is ready for stucco, it looks like. They put the trim guides and the guides for the detail that's going to be added. You know, that's what Rich called a beauty piece, design piece, and then the guide also lets you know how thick the stucco is going to be. And this is all around the house now, all around the corners, and it's all around the windows. There's going to be a lot of nice detail trim work that's added to the exterior of this house. See the blue dots and then the patches below for these cinder blocks? I'm going to turn around and show you the house over here. This indicates where the rebar that comes from the top to the bottom into the slab. This is part of our hurricane codes, and once this is inspected, then these they could fill these cells. I'm not certain that this company does that, but they certainly do patch those holes once they've passed inspection. In looking at the exterior, the biggest problem that we found was this slab for the HVAC. It's quite a slant. A little slant's not a problem, but this will be fixed, I'm sure. I'm just going to show you a quick shot of the pool structure that's not there yet. We can see that there's a footer that's been poured around that's going to be used to attach the pool screen. Then there's probably going to be a waterfall over there. See that piece of PVC sticking up? And there is a bench there and steps here. It's a pretty basic pool, but it's certainly going to be enjoyable in the summer heat when the owners come down. So I think that's about all I can show. When the owners see this video, they'll be in touch with me, or they get the report from Rich. So they're going to be looking at his report. He's not going to have too much for them to be concerned about at all. So we're both happy with the progress that's being made. And Jim and Gina, I hope you like this video. Until the next time, folks, I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.